we have our science critic, and he was dealing with prophecy and predictions. He thinks they're part of the scientific method. Okay, let's find out if that's true. So here, let me put them on for you. Okay, listen carefully. Here it is. Here goes.
The questions and issues to be addressed today include: is a prediction the same thing as a prophecy? And does predicting play any role in science?
Is a prediction the same thing as a prophecy?
I would say no. A prophecy is a type of prediction, but a prediction isn't always a prophecy. Usually, prophecies contain connotations of the supernatural, but you don't need to have supernatural powers in order to make a prediction.
Does predicting play any role whatsoever in science?
Yes, it does, because if you have a hypothesis that you want to test, you need to go, okay, what is the logical outcome of this hypothesis? Test it, and then if that matches the prediction, well, then your hypothesis is valid.
Okay, so you can see where he's coming from, and let's analyze what this poor fellow says. He thinks that predictions, which are no different really than prophecies, except a tiny bit, just a very tiny bit different. Prophecy is an open-ended type of prediction. In other words, you don't give a date, time when something's going to happen. You say the world's going to end. Okay, yeah. So what do you mean by that? Well, yeah, it could be tomorrow. It could be in a billion years. So there's no way to really verify what you said has any meaning. Okay. Prediction, on the other hand, is a little more specific. You say, look, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, there's going to be an eclipse of the sun. Okay, so at 2 o'clock tomorrow you wait and there's the eclipse. Okay, your prediction came true. So in that sense, prediction and prophecy are not the same. Prophecy is typically used for very general statements, but it has not really anything to do other than historical or traditional to do with supernatural. Okay, there's no requirement of supernatural. Okay, so let's look at this. This is our good old fellow, and he thinks that prophecies, or better yet, he calls them predictions, are part of the scientific method. Of course, we're going to argue that they have nothing to do with science. Prophecy, supernatural? No, not necessarily. Prophecy will tell you what's going to happen, and that's what a prediction does. It tells you, what's going to happen. But the only difference is one is open-ended, time-wise. The other one gives you some time or that the event is going to happen. Like if, I let go of a pencil and say, look, it's going to fall to the floor. Well, I can tell you not only that it's going to go to the floor, which could be timeless in the sense that I don't have to tell you when it's going to happen or how fast or anything like that. I can just say it's going to fall to the floor, and that's sufficient because I can test that right now if I wanted to, right? Prediction is more like that. Prophecy is more open-ended. You're just giving a very generic statement that, has no validity. It's just an opinion that something's going to happen someday, sometime, whenever. Okay, but more important here is this fellow has misconceptions of what a hypothesis is. Hypothesis is not a prediction, an explanation, tentative guess, issue to be explored, none of those. Hypothesis is an assumption. Assumption includes the objects, the definitions, and the statement of the facts that precede a theory, any theory that you're going to present. We don't test assumptions in science, so I don't know what this fellow is talking about, testing assumptions. And then if he talks about something being valid, well, that's an opinion, a belief. He believes that he proved it somehow, that it's valid. Valid meaning he's going to bless it and say this is correct or wrong or whatever, and that's not the case in science. Okay, in science we don't prove. It's religion that proves. Why? Because religion is in the business of persuading and converting. So the problem is unless he defines what a hypothesis is, we don't even have a common ground. And again, there are so many notions of the word hypothesis today that if the guy just warmed the seed in college, well, he's just going to repeat whatever he memorized, whatever he learned by rote. We need someone who uses his brain to discuss the issue. For that, he's got to start by defining the word hypothesis. And until we get a handle of that, we have no idea what he's referring to when he says that he's going to test the hypothesis. And if he tested it and finds that it to be valid, whatever that is, his opinion, then he has proof. He can tell you that his hypothesis, which I guess he confuses with a theory, explanation, is correct, meaning he blessed it to be correct on his own.